On July 3rd, 2019, Frank Creyelman, a former far-right Belgian MP, received a text.
Could you write me a report on Charles Michel about his political views, personalities, hobbies, and views of our country?
Charles Michel was the Prime Minister of Belgium at the time. He had been appointed President of the European Council the day before, on July 2nd, 2019. It's one of the most strategic jobs on the continent. The person behind these messages went by the name Daniel Wu and was a Chinese intelligence agent. Le Monde, with Der Spiegel and the Financial Times, accessed and cross-checked hundreds of message exchanges between Daniel Wu and Frank Creyelman. Our investigation reveals how the Chinese agent spent 3 years giving the Belgian MP 3 important missions. Mission 1, gather information on European institutions. Mission 2, influence European discourse. And Mission 3, destabilize relations between the US and the EU. Who really is Daniel Wu? We contacted 4 different Western intelligence services who all said Daniel Wu works for the MSS, the Ministry of State Security. Among China's many intelligence agencies, MSS is the country's principal civilian intelligence agency, with over 100,000 employees.
Une de ces missions, c'est le recueil de renseignements. Renseignements politiques, bien évidemment, mais aussi économiques, technologiques, scientifiques, industriels.
According to Western intelligence, Daniel Wu worked at the Xinjiang State Security Department, a provincial sub-branch of the MSS with 5,000 agents. The department's focus is Western Europe. The pseudonym of the Chinese intelligence agent was first spotted in Poland. In May 2016, Polish police arrested a pro-Kremlin party leader on suspicion of spying for Moscow and Beijing. According to our Western intelligence sources, he was in contact with Daniel Wu. But the story continues back in Belgium, where Daniel Wu's new target began to receive messages from the Chinese agent. When Frank Creyelman wasn't writing a report on the Belgian Prime Minister, Daniel Wu was interested in the other kinds of information the MP had access to. A Chinese researcher was accused of espionage by the Belgian government in October 2019 and was banned from the country. This was a concern for Daniel Wu.
After the thing happened, Belgian government is tend to carry out a political review regulation towards Chinese people in Belgium, especially on the Chinese staff of state-owned companies, and create a database about Chinese people. We would do some information collecting task. If you have such resources to do this task, I would send you the specific questions.
Okay, I might have these people. If they want to cooperate, is unsure.
Wu even asked Creyelman who he should recruit.
There is an action task, may need your help.
Okay, tell me.
It's about an act on Taiwan. The Brussels Regional Parliament will discuss a 2W Friendship Act. I wonder, is there anybody in the Parliament of Brussels can vote against it?
Because the Chinese agent was also looking to influence European discourse. 62 years old, with 34 years in politics under his belt, Frank Creyelman is a man of experience and boasts a wide network. At the time, he was a member of Vlaams Belang, a far-right Belgian political party. Daniel Wu wanted to tap into his network. In the many exchanges Le Monde examined, Wu asked Creyelman to spread a certain rhetoric. As the coronavirus pandemic raged across Europe in May 2020, China found itself at the center of the 24-hour news cycle. Wu asked Creyelman to use the Catholic Church to get his message across.
We have an action task which need Catholic bishops to show their voices, including the following points. 1. The coronavirus is the global enemy. 2. Do not politicize the virus. 3. Call for global antivirus. Are there any bishops you know who is willing to do it?
Hi. I took contact yesterday with Gunnar Reeves. He will call me today concerning your question.
And Chinese interests sometimes reached as far as inside the Belgian parliament. On June 13th, 2022, Creyelman solicited his brother, Stephen, also a member of the far-right Vlaams Belang party and an MP.
Just sent my brother a question about Haven Assistance and Indigenous HK.
Haven Assistance is a support group for Hong Kongers in exile, a cause for concern for Chinese intelligence.
Sorry, you mean your brother also will bring the HK immigration issue to the Belgian federal government?
Yes.
On July 28th, 1 month after their exchange, Stephen Creyelman published his question in writing before the Belgian House of Representatives.
Is the government aware of the existence of the Haven Assistance Group, which recommends the immigration of Hong Kong opposition members to Europe and likely provides the logistical means to do so? Do the activities of the Haven Assistance Group have an impact on the immigration of Chinese opponents to our country?
The Belgian Interior Ministry's response:
Residents of Hong Kong are not registered as a separate group in the database. Consequently, it is not possible to communicate the figures requested.
The 30 pages of exchanges between the two men provide an insight into the objectives of Chinese intelligence. At the end of 2022, Emmanuel Macron and Olaf Scholz were scheduled to make 2 high-profile diplomatic visits to China. An opportunity for Wu to share his motives.
There is a project which we are discussing right now. The purpose and main idea is to create atmosphere during the visit, pointing out US and UK are destabilizing energy stability in Europe, and China is currently helping that. Any ideas about the action?
Creyelman replied that 2 members of his party were planning to speak on this very subject.
There will be an intervention by or Tom van den Drijs or Philip Demmen, both MEP on the voyage of Macron and Scholz.
A few messages later, the Chinese intelligence agents clarified.
Our core purpose is to divide the US-European relationship.
In return for his services, Creyelman was invited to China by Wu. At the end of 2019, he invited him to Sanya, a coastal city on the southern tip of the Chinese island of Hainan. It's a popular destination for MSS officers wanting to meet their collaborators. The messages show that Frank Creyelman took off from Europe before passing through Hong Kong, entering China without a visa. He met with Daniel Wu and one of his colleagues in Sanya on December 14th, 15th and 16th in 2019. He returned to Belgium on December 17th. Le Monde traced his flight route using open-source flight data. Frank Creyelman was also paid by Daniel Wu for his services. Their messages point to the existence of financial transactions via Binance, a Chinese platform that uses cryptocurrencies for transfers, making them difficult to trace.
Le premier levier, c'est l'argent, toujours. Enfin, c'est le plus utilisé, c'est normal parce que c'est le plus efficace. Parfois, ils utilisent l'idéologie. Et en Europe, l'idéologie, oui, voilà, ça peut être l'idéologie d'extrême gauche, l'idéologie d'extrême droite, l'anti-américanisme, même auprès de gens qui sont pas forcément pro-chinois, qui se fichent même un peu de la Chine, mais qui rejoignent les Chinois sur leur anti-américanisme.
The exchanges we retrieved stop in September 2022. Neither Frank Creyelman or Daniel Wu responded to our requests for comment. The Chinese embassy in Belgium described our investigation as a fabrication. They said Beijing follows a principle of non-interference in foreign countries. A few hours after our investigation was published on December 15th, 2023, Frank Creyelman was expelled from his party Vlaams Belang after more than 37 years of membership. His brother Stephen resigned as chairman of the Parliamentary Committee on Belgian Military Procurement.